What's that smell? I can't figure it out. Smell. It's Tasteology Tuesday in the Flex Your Mind project, and smell is, I think, one of the more important senses, especially when it comes to food. So, for example, oh my goodness, this is not my favorite espresso bean, but I'm really quite enjoying this Lavazza. It's funny, I want to say it's a brown smell, but it has chocolatey tones, kind of a nutty smell that, you know, when you have fresh almonds in your hand, they're blanched, they're not roasted, you can sort of smell more the skin of the almond than the inner flesh. And then smell leads to taste, and smell enhances taste. Well, I have a glass of water here, but if I had a glass of wine, it's early. I'm not drinking at 10:35 in the morning. What do we do with red wine, right? I have a thing for big goblets of red wine because I want to have as much surface area across the wine. And you do that swirl, and there is this way of knowing how to taste and smell wine, but you get your nose into the wine so that you can take in the aromas. And one of these days, I think I want to take more of a course to learn more about how to taste wines and smell for wines and to get a sense of what it is you're smelling. But smell is a sensation that we was genetically involved, is what I'm trying to say, evolved in us to help protect us. The smells that are bitter or smell really bad are the things that tell us you shouldn't put that in your mouth. And the things that smell really good, oh my goodness, like this espresso that I have to have another sip of. Yummy. I wonder what it's like to taste without smell. A friend of mine from high school, from many years ago, met up with her when I was living in Ottawa at university. And unfortunately, she had a brain tumor, and she had it operated on, and that first one was successful. With the brain tumor, she lost her sense of smell. So over dinner, I asked her, I'm like, well, what is that like? I can't imagine having a chef training background, being taught how to smell things and to discern flavors and smell, what it would be like not being able to smell. So she smiled and she said, well, the thing I've learned is that people complain a lot about how bad something smells. And I thought that was hilarious because I had to think of my own frame of reference. And often when something is negative, we tend to go more into it. We tend to focus more on it. But perhaps with my chef training background, but perhaps also the sense of smell for me has been uniquely important in my life, where I've always enjoyed smelling food. I've always enjoyed going into a kitchen and smelling all of the different sensations in the air. And smell, for example, is really enhanced in cooking when you use a lot of fat, because the aromas, the molecules that create smell, attach to the fat molecules. So if you're pan frying something, let's say bacon, that comes up in the air. So I live in an apartment building. When I walk down the hallway, and it's the weekend maybe, and somebody's cooking bacon, I can smell that doors away. It's like, oh, bacon. Or around Thanksgiving and Christmas time, you always know when people are cooking turkey because it's been in the oven for hours and it's basting in its own juices. And then again, the fat carries all of those lovely smells, and it literally percolates through the air. Pardon me while I enjoy the rest of my espresso. Nothing like having a little bit of character in a video so that it isn't boring. So that's the thing for today. Smell your food. You know the expression, stop and smell the roses? Well, as cliched as it is, it means be present. And smell, at least in relation to food, can stimulate appetite, can stimulate the salivary glands, can get the process started that we actually want to eat. And if you are getting takeout food, for example, I'm already doing this face because when I walk through a food court near where I work with some clients, I get a smell of, I don't know if it's peanut oil or safflower oil, but it's overly used oil in a deep fryer that starts to smell off. And like, we make faces like this when something doesn't smell good because we get this automatic reaction in our body that says, don't touch that. I don't think I could eat at any of those places in the food court because that is the smell I also always associate with those foods. Think for a moment. Do you have any smells that repulse you around food? For me, it used to be asparagus as a kid, and that's because at the time, thankfully, my mother later on learned how to properly cook asparagus. But at the time, I guess in the 70s, you cooked vegetables till they were mush. And asparagus, when it's mushy, is disgusting. But I remember she made an asparagus soup. And I smelt it in the cup. Like, it made me gag. It actually made me physically gag. Shy of actually throwing it up, which I didn't do. But it's an awful smell. Now, what food smells make you just go, oh, that's lovely? Bread baking is often one for people. Bacon, like I said. Certain desserts have a good smell, and often there's like lard or butter or coconut oil in desserts, and that again carries the flavor in the air. And just for a moment to wrap up this video, what's called our olfactory sense is when a smell is so potent on our senses that it imprints in your memory. So you probably have, and you might not know it, or you might be very conscious of it. I have at least 2 permanent olfactory smell memories. And one of them, getting a little personal here, was a fellow I met early on when I first came out, and he wore Drakkar Noir. That's such an 80s perfume for men. I don't think anyone wears it. Whenever I smell someone wearing that, which doesn't happen very often, and I can't remember the last time it's happened, I think immediately of him. And then there was a unisex cologne by Perry Ellis around the same time, and one of my best female friends at the time and one of my male friends at the time, they both wore it. I will immediately see the face of both of those people, and I will be transported back in time to about 1985, 1986, and to where we hung out all the time. So do you have a memory like that of food? Do you have a memory that stimulates, do you have when you encounter a particular smell, does that stimulate a memory? And what smells make you feel terrific, make you feel comfortable, make you feel at ease, make you feel hungry? What smells make you want to gag and turn you off and make you want to avoid and just get away from wherever that smell is emanating from? So that's it for today. Be mindful of what you smell. And if you smell, have a shower. Sorry, double entendre there. But for the rest of today, smell your food. So if this were a plate of food, without touching your nose to it, get your nose over the plate. Take in the smell. Get a sense of the differences of the smells. Enjoy it. And perhaps every few bites, smell it again. Take in the pleasure of the aromas, and you will enjoy your food experience more. You'll be more present. You'll be more in the moment. You'll eat more slowly, and you will enjoy your meal like you haven't before. I hope you had some fun watching this video. I certainly had fun being a total goofball recording it, and have a wonderful day.